Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Friday Reads. I'm filming this intro clip right after I film my April wrap up because I'm all set up. This is going to be my May wrap up and it's going to be done a little bit differently because I utilize my library so much and I don't actually own a lot of the books that I read. By the time the month is over, the books have been returned. I don't like renewing my books just to hold on to it to do a wrap up, especially when there's a wait list. I just feel like that is really selfish and unnecessary. So my wrap up this month, I'm doing a little bit of an experiment and it's going to be a little bit vlog style. Not really vlog style, but as I finish my books, I'm going to pop on camera and talk about it and give my rating, etc. It may be once a week, or it might literally be like the second I finish a book. I'm not really sure yet. And that way you're getting all of the reviews. I get to hold up a book. You can see what the covers look like. This is in my April wrap up. Because I don't have an editing software where I can put in pictures so you know what I'm talking about, I feel like this is going to be the best way. I hope you guys enjoy this new format and I'd love to hear your feedback down in the comment section below because this is something new I'm trying. I want to make sure you prefer it this way as well. Let me know if you've seen anybody else do their wrap-ups in this style because I personally haven't seen any, although I don't watch a huge amount of different booktubers, if that makes sense. I'm going to cut this intro off here. Let's get into my first review. Hey guys, this is my first check-in for my May wrap-up. Again, as you would have just seen, we're doing things a little bit differently this time. It's actually May 16th. I haven't been popping on here as often as I originally planned, but maybe once I get used to this format, it'll be a little easier for me. But so far, I have finished 2 books this month. That is like pretty on par with my reading pace is about 4 books per month, so I'm going to chat with you about the 2 books I have finished so far. First, I finished Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. The whole reason I wanted to do my updates this way, my wrap up this way, was so I had the physical book to show you, but I had to return this to the library before I popped on camera. This was a book club pick for the Books with Friends with Common Spence and Books with Chloe. It is a YA mystery novel involving like a boarding school, and I really enjoyed it. I feel like I didn't love it, but I definitely really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. I really liked Stevie as a character. She has anxiety and I felt like that representation was almost too good. As someone who also has anxiety, reading through her having a panic attack or a lot of anxious thoughts or anxious feelings, I was like taking on those anxious feelings, which I mean, it's really good to have accurate representation with mental illness, of course, but sometimes it just hits a little too close to home. So as much as like logically I know that's a good thing in the book, me personally, it just didn't make me feel very good because Stevie being anxious was making me anxious. There were also the character Ellie, I really hated. She really affected my enjoyment of this book. That sounds so silly, but she's just so weird, and not in a like cute individual, like she's just being herself kind of way. That's not how I read it. That's how it was kind of written, but I just read it as her being over the top and super obnoxious and annoying. And yeah, I really did not like her character. I wish that it ended with a little more information. This is going to be a trilogy, and even in a mystery book, I feel like we could have had a little bit more to go on leading into the sequel. I know the sequel, well, I've heard the sequel is supposed to be much better, and I'm definitely going to continue the series. I just wish I had a little more information. Like, it doesn't stand on its own very well. Nothing is really wrapped up. If anything, we have even more questions. at the end of this book than we did at the beginning. I really liked reading from the two timelines, so we're going back and forth. There's actually, the main mystery is from 1936, I believe. Something that happened at this boarding school, and then we also have present day, and then there is a mystery during present time as well, and you kind of go back and forth. There's a lot of characters in this book, but overall I did enjoy it. Secondly, I read Sadie via audio book this month. I just recently finished this. Sadie is by Courtney Summers. Why can't I remember that? Yes. And this is a YA thriller. So where, for me, mystery and thriller are kind of, not really interchangeable, but I kind of view them in the same way. But Sadie definitely has a lot more hard-hitting topics. It's a bit scarier, thriller, a little bit more suspenseful, whereas a mystery, it's kind of like, you know, Sherlock Holmes, whodunit. There's a lot of clues, a lot of pieces, and you're kind of thinking about that through the whole story. So that's kind of how I view the differences there. You may disagree. Sadie is about a missing girl, and it's told in a podcast format, which is why I listened to it via audiobook, and I really did enjoy it. It has a full cast of characters. It was really well done. Sadie has a stutter, and even in the audiobook, the narrator, don't want to say has a stutter, but stuttered as Sadie. And I've heard that representation is really good as well, although I personally don't have an experience with having a stutter like that. Of course, everyone stutters occasionally, but that is completely different. I hated the ending of Sadie, which I know is a pretty popular opinion. I ended up giving this 4 stars. I was hooked pretty much the entire story, but the ending just, you get no closure. You don't know what happened at the end of this book, and I know that was done on purpose, but I personally really, really did not like it. The adventure that this book takes you on is so interesting because it's the same adventure told by 2 different people, basically. So Sadie goes missing, and you read through her parts of what happened during her time that she disappeared, and where she goes, and who she's seeing, and what she's doing. And then you have the perspective of 5 months later. He does a, like, is it like a true crime podcast? I'm not really sure. The man that is doing the podcast is investigating the disappearance of Sadie, and is going through all these clues and trying to track her down. And so he's like following along behind her, but 5 months later, and that was really interesting to listen to. There are a lot of really hard to read topics in here. We have like pedophilia, sexual assault, murder. There's a lot of hard-hitting topics, and it was hard to listen to every once in a while, hard to read. But it was a good book to read, and I would definitely recommend it if it sounds like something you'd be interested in. It was about an 8-hour audiobook, I think. Yeah, 8 hours. I listened to it, faster than, I listened to it on 1.2 times speed, and it was a really good time. So I will check in with you guys when I finished another book. Hey guys, so it is now May 31st. Hello? The last day of the month, and I actually haven't finished another book. So technically I only finished 2 books this month. I do have 50 pages left of The Descendant of the Crane, which I've been reading for over 2 weeks now. And I am going to finish it, so I'm not quite done yet. I'm sitting at the library, which is why I'm filming this in my car, so I can show you the book before it gets returned. It's due today. I will finish the last 50 pages when I can get my hands on this again, but because it's a new release, there's a waiting list. Wyatt setting my alarm off on my car. I think that it's taking me over 2 weeks to read that book is pretty telling. I'm really not enjoying it. It's very slow. A lot of it doesn't make sense. I really don't enjoy it. I believe it's going to be a 2.5 stars from me, which is really disappointing, and it's kind of put me in a reading slump. I've never taken this long to read a relatively short YA fantasy book. It's only 400 pages, which really isn't that long for me, and I'm just really disappointed in that read. So that wraps up my May reading. Let me know if you like this more vlog style of doing this video. Obviously, I hope for more than just 2 finished books in the upcoming month's wrap-ups, but that's just what's the saying, how the cookie crumbled this month, which is really disappointing. But if you did enjoy today's video, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up so that I know. I'd love to hear your feedback on this style of monthly reading wrap-up down in the comments below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!